Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Welcome to Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. I am your host, Mark Stephen Pooler. We have a wonderful guest on the show today, Stacey Hall. Who doesn't need more sales in their business? I think that's a yes from everyone. We're streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. We're on the E360 TV network, Apple, Fire, Android, Roku, and many more. We're also on USA Global Radio and Television Network, Business Innovators Radio Network, and mspnewsglobal.com. Let's bring in our incredible guest, the incredible Stacey Hall. Welcome, Stacey.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Mark.
I'm really looking forward to a conversation with you, Stacey. Let's get started with the show. You talk about entrepreneurs feeling like burnt out searchlights. What does that mean? And how can they shift into being lighthouses instead?
Well, any entrepreneur who is not making the sales they want or connecting with the audience they want knows exactly what I mean by a burnt out searchlight, because they've spent their whole career looking for those people and it gets exhausting. And what I'm suggesting is that there is a way for us to get back into alignment, back into our own comfort zones, be like lighthouses, standing for something. What we stand on, what we stand for is our brilliant light, and allow the people we want to find us first, Mark. And I know that all sounds like cliches, but there's an actual simple way to do it. But we're not going to be able to do it if we're constantly getting out of our comfort zone and attempting to do it somebody else's way. So I'm not here to tell people how to do it my way. I'm here to help them get back into their zone and expand their own personal way for making a connection so that people who are in the dark find your brilliance.
Oh, I love that. Being the light so that they find you and you don't have to find them. Who doesn't want some of that? You say that every entrepreneur has a message of enlightenment to offer. How can someone figure out what their message really is?
There's two steps to it. The first is to be sure that our big why is not coming from the past, because then we just bring our past into the future and we're still engaging with the problem we had in the past. Does that make sense?
Totally.
To start with? So what we want to do is we want to get into the present. We want to be very clear what our top 3 core values are. And some people say, really? Why do I have to be concerned with my values? Because if you know what you stand on and what you stand for, that's where your confidence comes from. That's where your sense of how you want to serve people comes from. That's your unshakable spot. And in addition to that, then we can talk about what problem did I overcome that I have a solution for, and that's the solution that matches my values. And I want to every day send that message out to the world. That's how you do it.
Standing by your values, which will give you confidence. Very, very wise words there. And I think knowing your values is really, really important. And it's what everything else is built around. So I really agree with all of that, Stacey. You say that every entrepreneur has what would you say to someone who thinks they have to get out of their comfort zone to be successful in business?
Well, I have asked this question many times. I'll say to every entrepreneur I meet, just out of curiosity, do you think you have to get out of your comfort zone in order to be successful? And 100% of the time, they will say to me, if they don't know me already, yes. I'll say, okay, cool. Now tell me, would you ever want to be out of alignment with your values and who you are? And then 100% of the time they'll say, no, I would never get out of alignment. Well, isn't that what getting out of your comfort zone is? Because usually it's someone else telling you what they did that worked, and you thinking that because they did it, it's going to work for you. And what I'm saying is, let's get back into our own zone, the place of alignment, the lighthouse, which I have behind me as my reminder. The lighthouse doesn't try to be like every other lighthouse on the shore. Every lighthouse has its own shape within a certain standard, its own pulsing light, its own generator. So it's similar, but it's doing it its own way. And inside our comfort zone is our past experiences, our values, our strengths, our desires, who we are, our talent that we have to bring to the world. And all there is to do is keep expanding that. And Mark, there will be people right now, I already know because I've been doing this for years, that will say, but if I hadn't gotten out of my comfort zone and done such and such, I never would have. And I'll say to you, then that was in your comfort zone. You just had to stretch it. In other words, you wanted to do that. That was part of you to do that. Even if somebody else challenged you, you decided to do that. But everybody will have something they will choose not really to do. That's out of their comfort zone. So I hope that makes sense.
It does. Staying in alignment, being the light, standing by your own values. And I think that's a much better way of doing business, Stacey, and having success, because you're staying in your own zone and in alignment. So everything will flow so much better and feel, even though you may be stepping out of your own limits, you're still in your own alignment. So even if you're out of your comfort zone, you're still in it because you're still in alignment with your values and alignment. So I totally get what you're saying. It's perfect, Stacey.
Yeah, so we never actually get out of our own zone. If you're following this, if you're following how it feels to be in alignment, but people will say they've reached their breaking point. I'll say, if you're in your breaking point, you've gotten out of your comfort zone. That's not to say we don't have growing pains. But growing pains is very different than reaching your breaking point.
I love it. Let's have a quick commercial break, Stacey, and we will be right back in 2.
Feeling held back? Dreaming bigger? Mark Stephen Pooler and Brilliance Business present unshakable confidence and decisive action. 2 powerful audio tracks designed to reprogram your mind for unwavering confidence and decisive action. Get guided visualizations and subliminal affirmations to ignite your inner strength, actively and passively. Stop doubting. Start doing. Visit store.contactmark.me now. That's store.contactmark.me. Unlock your potential today.
Stacey, how can someone create a sustainable rhythm for sharing their message without burning out or falling off the map?
Well, how you create your sustainable message. Sustainable is the key word. And we've been talking about how it makes it easier to stay consistent, right? So sustainable is consistency. And what I see too often that entrepreneurs and salespeople fail at is staying consistent with a message. A lighthouse doesn't decide to go change its location. And when I'm first working with a client, in order to explain what I mean here, I will say, think about your favorite singer or band, music band. If you have one, they probably have at least one signature song, the song that everybody expects them to play at a concert, in the encore. You know, it's the one you want to be able to sing along to because you know it so well. Mark, does this make sense so far?
Totally, yes.
Who's your favorite singer or band?
So I actually really like Mariah Carey.
Okay, what's your favorite song for Mariah Carey?
Emotions I quite like.
Okay, so if you went to a Mariah Carey concert, you would expect her to sing that, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so for everybody, let's think about how many times Mariah Carey has sung Emotions.
Many.
Right? Because that's what she's known for, along with her Christmas song and a few others. All right? She cannot get tired. She wants to make money. She darn well better not get tired of singing those songs. Doesn't matter how many times she's practiced them, how many times she's talked about them, how many times she's been interviewed about them, and how many concerts she's performed them at. That's her brand. That's her trademark. But entrepreneurs often don't realize that. They're like, oh, I've been talking about this. I should be doing something. Oh, look, they're doing something and it's getting them a lot of attention. I think I should be copying that. No. Mariah Carey can appreciate Beyonce. She can appreciate whoever she appreciates as other artists. But she is going to stay on her brand and continue her song. And that's what her audience is. And that's alignment, that's consistency, that's sustainability.
It makes total sense to stay in alignment, stay shining your light and being your own lighthouse. I love it, Stacey. I love the reference to a lighthouse as well. It just all ties in beautifully. What's the biggest internal shift someone needs to make if they want to sell more without feeling pushy or out of alignment?
And I'm going to sound like a broken record, but like I just said, I'm going to come back on point to my brand, which is the shift we must make is look to see if we're following someone else's values, someone else's message, and someone else who's telling us that we're not good enough. We have to get out of our comfort zone. I'm saying the shift is get back into it. Find your alignment, find your values, find the message that's most soul satisfying to you to give to your audience and keep singing that song.
Just great words of wisdom. Now, Stacey, I know a lot of people will want to get hold of you. Who should reach out to you, Stacey? Who's the perfect person you'd love to connect? And just share how people can connect with you. I know they can go to staceyannhall.com. That's staceyannhall.com.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say that any entrepreneur or salesperson, male or female, doesn't matter your age, how you would know that you would want to go to my website, get some of my free courses, get my tips there, or request to chat with me is because you are burnt out. You really are so far out of your own zone that you can't find yourself anymore. Nothing's working. People aren't finding you, and you haven't made sales for a while, or you've plateaued with the sales you're making. I can tell you, Mark, when we're recording this, it's the 4th day of the month. Yesterday, myself and my sales team, so I don't just coach or mentor, I actually do as well. And I have a sales team, an international sales team. We made bigger sales volume on the 3rd day of the month than we ever have. And it's in the middle of summer. So when people say, it's okay, there's a summer slump, it's like, no, there's no summer slump. It's just, are you out of alignment or are you in alignment? And I can help anyone get back into alignment and make more sales, enjoy more satisfaction, and achieve more success.
I'd encourage you to go to staceyannhall.com. That's staceyannhall.com. Stacey, I thoroughly enjoyed having a conversation with you today. Thank you so much for being my guest on Brilliance Business.
It was an honor and a blessing when you asked me to participate with you. So thank you.
The pleasure's been. Oh, and we also have an incredible collaboration coming up together with the incredible Dr. Joe Vitale for How to Live a Zero Limits Life. Stacey's part of the film as well, aren't you, Stacey?
Yes, I have a featured part in the film. Yes.
So she's part of the new movie that's won loads of awards. It's doing great things, How to Live a Zero Limits Life. And I've also interviewed Dr. Joe quite recently, which that one's coming out in a couple of weeks, along with a massive collaboration with about 23 other people involved, including Stacey. So everyone look out for that. Thank you for being my guest today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on Brilliance Business TV, Conversations with Leading
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.